Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, and with pranams, thank you very much for joining in for our Bhagavad Gita study session. We are on the last week of our Bhagavad Gita study session. So probably by today, tomorrow, Krishna willing, we'll be completing our Bhagavad Gita. And next Monday, we'll start the magnum opus, Srimad Bhagavatam, by His Divine Grace, Avi Charanarvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. So thank you for joining in for the concluding sessions of Bhagavad Gita. Let's start with the prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Dushe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Dharale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Meshwaram Harihi Om Tatsad. Hare Krishna, devotees. Thank you very much for joining in. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Mande Jagadgurum Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you for our concluding sessions of the Bhagavad Gita. So between today and tomorrow, we will be concluding our 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Thank you very much for joining us. We are going to continue from 18.61. So this chapter, Arjuna, this chapter started when Arjuna inquired from Lord Shri Krishna, what is better? Whether Tyaga is better or Sannyasa is better. Right? Sannyasa, as we know, is an order of life. Right? After a particular point in time, it is recommended that as part of the Varnashrama process, given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, after 50, one has to take Vanaprastha, right? First 25 years is Brahmachari life, where one completely focuses on the study of the scriptures, right? And 25 to 50, if one decides to enter into the Grihastha ashram, one enters into the Grihastha ashram and follows the principles of Krishna consciousness, being situated as a Grihastha. And after 50, it is recommended one takes up Vanaprastha, right? Vanaprastha means one no longer is attached to the day-to-day duties of the household life. One gives it over to one's sons and daughters to carry on their life, and one is more focused in performing Sanatana Dharma, chanting Hare Krishna, hearing Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, dedicated, right? Husband and wife together, they study these Vedic scriptures and do mat chitta mat katha prana bodhayanta parasparam, discuss the pastimes of the Lord. And then, if one has not taken to Grihastha ashram, then after Brahmachari ashram, one directly takes to the order of sannyas. That means becomes a Parivrajaka goes around places and distributes this knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Then the Swadharma becomes equal to Sanatana Dharma, where one practices Krishna consciousness, where one is not considered about how to get food, etc. for the body. And once one completes Vanaprastha, right, after 75, right, it said that Vanaprastha also takes sannyas. That means the husband leaves the wife under the care of the son or the son-in-law, as the case may be, and takes the sannyas ashram. And then the duty is the same, right? The Sanatana Dharma is equal to Swadharma. He goes around, distributes the message of Krishna consciousness, right? So in this way, but Prabhupada says, right, if in the family all are devotees, all are practicing devotees, all encourage each other to practice Krishna consciousness, one need not take up Vanaprastha and sannyas. Right? So we clearly understand that when Prabhupada is saying no need to take sannyas, if you have an atmosphere that is conducive to practicing Krishna consciousness, then very clearly, Prabhupada also is very clearly explaining that Tyaga is more important than sannyas. Right? Because sannyas is an ashram that one can very easily avoid. One need not take. It is optional. When one's family members are Krishna conscious, when one's family life is conducive to practicing Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada is saying no need to take sannyas. Right. So, sannyas is not so important. But what is very important, even from the brahmachari life to the sannyas level, what is very important? Being detached. Being detached to the material life. To renounce what is not favorable. Anukulyena sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam. Rakshishyatiti vishwaso. Gopatritve varnam tatha. What is that? Sadvidam Sharanagatihi. What is that? What is that? Okay, the 6 limbs of Sharanagati, it's given. That is Tyaga, right? That means what? We give up. What is Tyaga? Tyaga is in the first part of this 6 limbs of Sharanagati. Atma Nikshepa Karpanye Sadvidam Sharanagatihi, right? Atma Nikshepa Karpanya. Atma Nikshepa means surrendering oneself to the Lord, and Karpanya, humility, right? So Anukulyasya Sankalpa Pratikulyasya Varjanam. Anukulyasya Sankalpa means to do things that are favorable to Krishna consciousness. Pratikulyasya Varjanam, that means not doing things which are not favorable to Krishna consciousness, right? Gopatritve Varnam Tata, right? Surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead like the way the gopis did, considering Krishna as our master, right? Then Atma Nikshepa Karpanye. Atma Nikshepa Karpanye means to surrender oneself completely to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and undergo self-control, self-discipline, right? And what is that? Atma Nikshepa Karpanye. Karpanye means developing humility, right? So these 6 are the limbs of Sharanagati, right? Out of that, the second limb is Anukulyasya Sankalpa Pratikulyasya Varjanam. First 2 limbs. That's what we are talking about. In Tyaga, what are we saying? We don't have to Tyaga everything, right? What are we supposed to Tyaga? We are supposed to give up only what is Pratikulyasya Varjanam. Varjanam means to give up, to Tyaga, to give up, right? What are we supposed to Tyaga? We are supposed to Tyaga. We are supposed to give up what is not favorable for Krishna consciousness, what is not favorable for our enhancement in the process of devotional service. So that is what is given by Srila Prabhupada, right? And the purport to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, we'll be studying in a short while. 18.65. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja ham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshiksham achujha. Right? Sarvadharman parityajya, everything you have to give up. So what is that 6 limbs? It's in the purport Prabhupada mentions. the 6 limbs of Sharanagati. The first 2 talk about Anukulyasya Sankalpa, Pratikulyasya Varjanam. That means give up not everything, right? Give up basis Yukta Vairagya. Give up what is not favorable for me to practice Krishna consciousness. So, Tyaga is more important than sannyas, right? And then in the later part of the chapters, as we've been studying, what is Krishna saying? Krishna is saying the 4 orders, the 4 varnas and orders have been created so that we can advance in Krishna consciousness, right? Whatever is required to be done, right? Although we are compelled to work according to the 3 modes of material nature, whatever body we've acquired, if you acquired the body of a pig, we want to eat stool and enjoy ourselves. If you acquired the body of a brahmana, we want to study scriptures and yet enjoy ourselves, right? So it is not about giving up our activity. It is about giving up the propensity to enjoy while performing our activity, right? What we need to give up, not our activity. What we need to give up, we need to give up the propensity to enjoy as you're performing our activity. So what we need to do? Yukta Vairagya. That is a word that Rupa Goswami mentions, right? So be situated and work according to the directions of our gurus. Then we will be properly situated doing our duty, right? Ma manusmara yudhyacha. Krishna told Arjuna, ma manusmara yudhyacha, and Arjuna did exactly that. He did his duty of being a Kshatriya and engaged in warfare, but yet he got his final destination. Why? Because he followed the instruction of his guru and he was not attached to winning or losing. He was attached to following the instructions of the guru. Right? Swabhavagena kaunteya nibhaddhasvena karmana kartum nechasi mohat karishyasi avashopitat. Right? You are compelled to work according to the nature that you have acquired, but the consciousness with which you perform that activity will either liberate you or will bind you. That is a sum and substance, right? So we want to perform our activities for the pleasure of the Lord, and in that way we will meet success. Whether we are a brahmachari or a grihastha or a vanaprastha or a sannyasi. So that is the sum and substance of this 18th chapter, which Krishna is summarizing for us. Right? So now let's move on to 18.61. Let me share my screen. Okay, I already see devotees' hands up for reading. Thank you. 18.61. Who will read? Sindhu Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Pradam.
Hare Krishna, yes.
Shloka 18.61. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Viddeshe Arjuna Tishtati Dhamayan Sarva Bhutani Yantradu Dhani Mayaya. Synonyms. Ishvaraha, the Supreme Lord, Sarva Bhutanam, of all living entities, Viddeshe, in the location of the heart, Arjuna, O Arjuna, Tishtati, resides, Dhamayan, causing to travel, Sarva Bhutani, all living entities, Yantra, on a machine, Arudani, being placed, Mayaya, under the spell of the material energy. Translation and support. Divine Shila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. Purport: Arjuna was not a supreme knower, and his decision to fight or not to fight was confined to his limited discretion. Lord Krishna instructed that the individual is not all in all. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, or He Himself, Krishna, as the localized Supersoul, sits in the heart, directing the living being. After changing bodies, the living entity forgets his past deeds. But the Supersoul, as the knower of the past, present, and future, remains the witness of all his activities. Therefore, all the activities of the living entities are directed by the Supersoul. The living entity gets what it deserves and is carried by the material body, which is created in the material energy under the direction of the Supersoul. As soon as a living entity is placed in a particular type of body, he has to work under the spell of that bodily situation. A person seated in a high-speed motor car goes faster than one seated in the slower car. Though the living entities, the drivers, may be the same. Similarly, by the order of the Supreme Soul, material nature fashions a particular type of body to a particular type of living entity so that he may work according to his past desires. The living entity is not independent. One should not think himself independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The individual is always under the Lord's control. Therefore, one's duty is to surrender, and that is the injunction of the next verse. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So this is very wonderful. Why is this wonderful? Because we all have this material body, which is like a machine. Yeah, yantra rudhani maya. According to our desires and according to our past activities, we've acquired this body, right? And Prabhupada also mentions in a lecture how if there is a if someone acquires the body of a pig, then what happens? The consciousness would be that of a pig. How can I enjoy in this body of a pig? Oh, if I eat stool, I will enjoy in this body of a pig, right? So whatever body we may acquire, as long as we have sense gratification as our prime, as a prime driving force of our activities, then we will acquire bodies according to that sense gratification, according to that desire. And when we acquire that body, what we will try to do? We will try to enjoy our senses. And while trying to enjoy our senses in this way, continuously we're getting more and more entangled in the complexities of the material nature. Right? Then slowly, pig, dog and whatever, the process goes through evolution, right? In 8.4 million species. And finally, in the process of evolution, finally we reach this human form of life. And then again, we have a choice, right? What is the choice we have? What am I going to live my life like a human being, or am I going to live my life like a cat or a dog, right? If I live my life like a human being, means what? Dharmam to sakshat. What is that? Dharmo hi eko adhiko vishesho dharmena hinam pashubir samanam. So if I'm going to inquire about the absolute truth and I'm going to perform a devotional service, then I can attain the result that is only possible in the human form of life. Otherwise, what will happen? Again, I will glide down to probably a hog or a dog, and then again I have to go through that evolutionary process of coming back to the human form of life. Right? So whatever body we have acquired is because of our past karmas and it's because of our past desires. Now that we've acquired this human body, right? Some of us are able to memorize slokas very easily. Some of us are able to wake up in the morning. Some of us are not able to wake up in the morning. Some of us are not able to memorize slokas. Some of us are not able to pick up the Bhagavad Gita and read it. It goes all above our head. Cannot understand anything. Why? Because of our desires for the past. But yet, the best thing about Bhakti Yoga is that if we hear the Bhagavad Gita, if we chant in the association of the devotees, if we hear Bhagavad Gita from a person who's in the bona fide parampara, automatically we will develop taste. Right? Param drishtva nivartate. The higher taste that we are getting because of the hearing of the Bhagavad Gita or the Bhagavatam or the Chaitanya Charitamrita from a bona fide acharya, from a senior devotee who's coming in the bona fide parampara, then chanting in the association of the devotees, whether we like it or not, somehow we're determined to join the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then what happens? Automatically, although we've acquired a body that is supposed to be a slow car, right? That means I'm manda because of my past desires and past activities. But yet, in this lifetime, because of the right choices that I make, being in the association of devotees, chanting Hare Krishna in the association of devotees, hearing Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, doing all of this, right? Although I'm in a slower car, I'm able to pick up speed. Although I'm manda, I'm able to get this knowledge. I'm able to assimilate this information by the grace of the devotees, and I'm able to make faster progress. Right? So Prabhupada is talking about how, a car, right? If one is driving a Luna, for example, the Luna maximum speed may be 40 kilometers, right? How much ever you may speed up the Luna, it cannot. But if that, and there may be a Mercedes Benz that may be going at 120 kilometer speed. The Luna, how much ever fast it goes, it tries, the driver is the same. Today the same driver is driving a Luna, tomorrow the same driver is driving Mercedes Benz. So it's not about the driver, but it is about the vehicle. Right? So this body that we've acquired is the vehicle. The soul which is driving is the same, right? Because the Lord is present, right? The Lord is directing. But what happens when we are driving the Luna? We can only go at 40 kilometers. We cannot reach a destination, earlier than that. But even if we are going in the Mercedes Benz at 150 kilometer speed, we will probably reach in, say, 8 hours, a particular destination. Let's keep. And Luna, if we are driving to that same destination, say we will take 20 hours. And if you are driving the same destination, say with a Mercedes Benz, say we are taking 2 hours. Okay. But what if the Luna is picked up by a helicopter? And then it will reach the destination in hardly 10 minutes or 15 minutes. What will take even a Mercedes Benz for 8 hours? Right? So that is Bhakti process. The Bhakti process is like the helicopter that is picking up even a Luna. Right? That is picking up a body which is Manda Sumanda Matayo, Manda Bhagya, right? With that speed, if I'm going to travel, if I'm going to practice devotional service also, or if I'm doing the, the rituals as per the Vedic scriptures, I will take probably 10 lifetimes, right? But if I have a Brahmana body, right, that means I've done in the past life lot of pious activities, I've got the body of a Brahmana, right? I'm born in a Brahmanical family, then probably I will take 5-6 lifetimes, right? But then if there is a helicopter that's picking up, the Guru is the helicopter, right? We've taken shelter of the Guru, coming in a bona fide Guru Parampara. The Guru is the helicopter that is coming up, and the Guru is picking me up, right? I might actually take 15 lifetimes, but the Guru is picking me up. I may go back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime. Although, have I changed my body? No. But what has changed? There is an external force that is actually adding up and giving a more potency to my body. And in this way, my body is picked up by the causeless mercy of Guru and Gauranga. And because of that, I will reach my destination much faster, probably in this lifetime, by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga. So that is the potency of Bhakti Yoga, right? When the helicopter, what the helicopter is doing to the Luna, that the Luna is reaching much faster than the Mercedes Benz at the same place, is because of the potential of the helicopter, and that is the potential of Bhakti in our life, right? So if we simply practice Bhakti, then whatever be our current body, right, by the potency of Bhakti, by the potency of the mercy of the spiritual master who has given us this Bhakti, Brahmande Brahmite Kona Bhagyavana Jiva, Guru Krishna Prasada Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. Because of that Bhakti Lata Bija in this yantra, in this body, we may go back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime, or faster at least than was scheduled, right? Right? All of us have come with a manufacturing date. The day we were born is our manufacturing date, and the day the body dies will be our expiry date. But in between A and C, between our appearance and death, there is this C. Oh, sorry, between B and D, birth and death, there is a C. That is a choice of how we live our life. And because of that, we will change our destination. Our B and C are determined. When we take our birth, then we will die. That is determined. But then the C, which is there in between, we have a choice how we live our life. And according to that, our destination will get changed. And that's all about this machine, this yantra, this body. This body is a proper boat by which we can go back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime. It all depends on what I'm doing between B and D, between the birth and death. What are the choices that I'm making? According to that, I may either rot around in this material world, or I may go back home, back to Godhead. And that is the formula that is repeated by Lord Shri Krishna in this 18th chapter of Bhagavad. So many verses are repeated. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. We'll be studying those verses again for the second time. Why? Because if we make our choices according to what Krishna has given us instructions, Manmana bhava mad bhakto, we can go back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime by the causeless mercy of Guru and Gauranga. All right, let's move ahead. 18.62. Who will read? Okay, Shubhangi Mataji, please go ahead. 18.62.
Mataji, I'll try. Tavena Sharanam Gacha Sarvabhavena Marata Tat Prasadat Paramam Shantim Sthanam Param Shantim Sthanam Prayasyahi Shashvatam. Synonyms: Tam, up to him; Iva, certainly; Sharanam, Gacha, surrender; Sarva Bhavena, in all respects; Bharata, O son of Bharata; Tat Prasada, by his grace; Pranam, transcendental; Param, transcendental; Shantim, peace; Sthanam, the abode; Prapsisi, you will get, sorry, Shashvatam, eternal. Translation and purport given by Mr. Evangelist A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki. O section of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. Purport. A living entity should therefore surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart, and that will relieve him from all kind of miseries of this material existence. By such surrender, Not only will one be released from all miseries in this life, but at the end, he will reach the Supreme God. The transcendental word is described in the Vedic literature, uh, Rig Veda 1.22.20 as Tad Vishnoho Paramam Padam. Since all of creation is the kingdom of God, everything material is actually spiritual. But Paramam Padam specially refers to the eternal abode, which is called the spiritual sky or Vaikuntha. In the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishta. The Lord is seated in everyone's heart. So, this recommendation that one should surrender unto the Super Soul sitting within means that one should surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna has already been accepted as Arjuna as the Supreme. He has accepted in the 10th chapter as Param Brahma Param Dhamam. Arjun has accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Supreme Abode of all living entities, not only because of his personal experience, but also because of the evidence of great authorities like Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dhanvatvam.
Yeah. So thank you, Mataji. So here it is very wonderful, right? Why it is said that Paramam Padam means it refers to the spiritual world, but even this material world is spiritual. Why? Because Aham Sarvasya Prabhava Mataha Sarvam Pravartate, everything is emanated from that Supreme Personality of Godhead. So how can something be material, right? Something is material or spiritual depends on our consciousness. If our consciousness is Bhoga Vritti, that means everything is material. If our consciousness is seva vritti and we utilize everything in this material world also in the service of the Lord, then everything is spiritual. There is no material and spiritual world. There is only material and spiritual consciousness. Because there are great acharyas. So Prabhupada was also in the material world, but he was never materially conscious. He was never he was never once in the material world. He was always carrying the spiritual world in his heart. Right? That's why it said Padma Patra Ivambasa, being in this world, but not being of this world. Right? We all have to be in this world. People come for different reasons. Right? We come because of our past conditioning, of our past desires. But devotees, great devotees of the Lord, appear in this world to assist in the pastimes of the Lord, to assist in the preaching programs of the Lord. So what do? They are in this world, but they are not of this world. So Paramam Padam means spiritual consciousness. Right? Great acharyas, although being situated in this material world for the purpose of seva, they are still situated in the spiritual world because their consciousness is such. Yeah. Let's move ahead. 18.63. Okay, who will read this? Sridhar Prabhu. Please go ahead, Prabhu.
Krishna Dandot Pranam Mataji.
Yes.
Idite jnanam ajnadam guhyat guhyataram maya vimshayetat aseda yatha ichchadi tada guru. Hare Krishna. Iti, thus, te, unto you, jnanam, knowledge, akshayam, described, guhyat, then confidential, guhyataram, still more confidential, maya, by me, vimsaya, deliberating, yata, on this, aseshana, fully, yata, as, ichchadi, you like, tada, that, guru, perform. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. Thus, I have explained to you knowledge, still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully and then do what you wish to do. Purport. The Lord has already explained to Arjuna the knowledge of Brahma Bhuta. One who is the Brahma Bhuta condition is joyful. He never lamented, nor does he desire anything. That is due to confidential knowledge. Krishna also disclosed knowledge of the super soul. This is also Brahman knowledge. Knowledge of Brahman, but it is superior. Here the word yachadi tada guru, as you like you may act, indicate that God does not interfere with the little independence of living entity. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has explained in all respect how one can elevate his living condition. The best advice imparted to Arjuna is to surrender unto the super soul seated within his heart. By right discrimination, one should agree to act according to the order of the super soul. That will help one become situated constantly in Krishna consciousness. the highest perfection stage of human life. Arjuna is being directed, ordered by the personality of Godhead to fight. Surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is to the best interest of the living entities. It is not for the interest of Supreme. Before surrendering, one is free to deliberate on this subject as far as the intelligence goes. That is the best way to accept the instruction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such instruction comes also through the spiritual master, the bona fide representative of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Just give me 1 minute, devotees. 1 second. Hare Krishna. So sorry. Okay. So, this is very interesting, isn't it? In this verse, what is Krishna telling Arjuna after giving all the transcendental knowledge to Arjuna? Krishna is saying, Yatha ichasi tatha kuru. Right? Do whatever you like. Right? We've always known that what is it that we can call our own? Right? The only thing that we can call our own is our desire to serve Lord Shri Krishna, is our choice, is our free will. Because Krishna does not interfere with the free will of the living entities. If you want to enjoy, okay, Krishna is making arrangement for us. Okay, this material world is there, but you go and try to enjoy yourself. But the real enjoyment is there, not even in Brahmabhuta platform. Because Brahmabhuta platform is na shochiti na kankshiti only. There is no lamentation, there is no hankering, but that is still zero access, isn't it? But we want positive bliss. We want positive happiness. We want bliss, right? So in order to get that bliss, right, Krishna is giving the formula going ahead. Right? Krishna has given us all the knowledge until now. In the 9th chapter only, Krishna told, Manmana bhava mad bhakto matyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishasi satyam te no mame vaishasi yuktva atma namat parayana. So Krishna has already given us the formula how we can go back to Godhead. But again, Arjuna was asking some questions, and now Arjuna has given a choice, right? Krishna has told, I've given you all the knowledge. I've given you, the Brahman realization. I've given you what is Paramatma realization. I've shown you my universal form. I've also told you what is the best, right? Between 7 and 12 chapters, I've told you Bhakti Yoga is the best. 6.47, I told you Yoginam api sarvesham matkate nandaratmana shraddhavan vajate yomam same yukta tamo mataha. Vajate mam means what? Rendering devotional service with faith. I've told you that 6.47 Bhakti is the best. Then I've further explained in 7 to 12 chapters that by performing Bhakti Yoga, you will come back to me. Right? Now, I've explained everything in 18th chapter. Again, I've revised the concepts for you now. Now, Arjuna, it is time for you to decide. Do whatever you like. Now, it is very interesting. What is Arjuna choosing to do? That we will know in the next verse. Right? He will say, Karishye vachanam tava. I will do what you are telling me to do. All this while, what is he was telling? Oh, Krishna, you are asking me to perform my duty. But then what if I have to kill all of my, my grandfather, my relatives, my cousins? Will I not incur sins? Whom will I enjoy the kingdom? Right? So Arjuna was put into illusion. Arjuna was thinking that, I will not get sense gratification even if I win the war. And then Krishna told Arjuna, whether you win or lose, doesn't matter. Perform your dharma of fighting the war. And that is the decision that Arjuna is going to take here. Why? Because Arjuna has taken shelter of Krishna, right? Sishyasteham shadi mam tvam prapannam. This is a consciousness with which Arjuna has been hearing and inquiring from Lord Shri Krishna, taking Krishna as a spiritual master and accepting the words, hearing with an open mind. And finally, now Arjuna is able to take a decision. Krishna is telling Yata ichasi tata kuru, O Kuru, O son of Kuru, O son of Bharata, right? Do what you like. And then now Arjuna is going to say, Karishye vachanam tava. Oh Krishna, I'm fully convinced. You are my spiritual master. Now I am going to do what you are going to ask me to do. Right? So we all have this question. Krishna is telling us, Krishna is giving us all the knowledge. This knowledge is for us through the madhyam of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is giving us this knowledge. And now Krishna is telling us, O Medhavini Sakhi Devi Dasi, now do whatever you like. Either you listen to your mind or you listen to me. Now all of us have a choice. Right? Whether we are also going to tell Krishna, Karishye vachanam tava. Oh Krishna, I will follow your instructions and live the life of a devotee. Or we can tell Krishna, okay, Krishna, not this lifetime, maybe next lifetime I will try. Right? So we have this choice between B and D, between the birth and death. We have the C, we have this choice. And we don't know, in the next lifetime, if we don't have a human body, we will not have a C. We will just go through B and D. But now, right now, we have the Association of Devotees, we have Srila Prabhupada, we have Srila Prabhupada's books, we have the Association of Devotees, we know the top 5 angas of bhakti, we have everything that is required to make the right choice between B and D and go back home, back to Godhead. So we have to make this choice according to our own free will, that Karishye vachanam tava, right? So let's make this choice. Let's see what Arjuna is saying next. Oh, Krishna is only continuing. Okay, let's see what Krishna is saying. Text number 64. Okay, Sudha Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam. Hare Krishna Mataji, am I audible Mataji?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Sarvaguhyatamam bhuya shruno me paramam vachah ishtosi me dridam iti tato vakshami te hitam. Synonyms: Sarvaguhyatamam, the most confidential of all. Bhuya, again. Shrunu, just hear. Me, from me. Paramam, the supreme. Vacha, instruction. Ishtasi, you are dear. Me, to me. Me, to me. Dridam, very. Iti, thus. Tata, therefore. Vakshami, I am speaking. Te, for your hitam, benefit. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. Purport: the Lord has given Arjuna knowledge that is confidential, knowledge of Brahman, and still more confidential, knowledge of the super soul within everyone's heart. And now he is giving the most confidential part of knowledge. Just surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the end of the 9th chapter, he has said, Man mana, just always think of me. The same instruction is repeated here to stress the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. This essence is not understood by a common man, but by one who is actually very dear to Krishna, a pure devotee of Krishna. This is the most important instruction in all Vedic literature. What Krishna is saying in this connection is the most essential part of knowledge, and it should be carried out not only by Arjuna, but by all living entities. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Dandat Pranam. So this is, why is Krishna repeating? Arjuna is not even asking anything, isn't it? Arjuna is convinced. I'm going to follow Krishna's instructions. Arjuna is convinced, but yet, because Krishna wants us also to get convinced. Krishna does not want us to take the wrong decision. So there's no question from Arjuna. So from here, it is very clear that Krishna is speaking to us. Krishna is not speaking to Arjuna. Arjuna is already convinced because Arjuna is not asking any further questions, isn't it? So Krishna is told, okay, now you do whatever you like. But then Krishna is thinking, okay, what if somebody who's hearing this Bhagavad Gita may take a wrong decision? So Krishna is so worried about us. Krishna is so eager to have us back home, back to Godhead. So Krishna is still elaborating again. Very clear. This is not for Arjuna. This is for us. So again, Krishna is elaborating. Okay, let me tell you the most confident knowledge again. Why? Arjuna is already convinced, isn't it? So who is not convinced? Krishna is worried that you and I may not utilize our free will correctly and take the right decision. So Krishna is, although Arjuna did not ask any question, yet Krishna is repeating the final instructions. So let's see, what are those instructions? Text number 65. This is our memorization verse for today and Mananam for this week. Okay, Karpagavali Mataji, go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Manmana bhava madbhakto matyaji mam namaskrutu mam evasi satyam te pratijnami priyotmi. Manmana, thinking of me, bhava, just become, mad bhakta, my devotee, mad yaji, my worshipper, mam, unto me, namaskru, guru, offer my obeisances, mam, unto me, eva, certainly, yes, yasi, come, satyam, truly, ti, to me, pradijani, I promise, prija, dear, asi, you are me, my. Always think of me and become my translation purport Prabhupada ki jai. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come unto me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Purport. The most confidential part of knowledge is that one should become a pure devotee of Krishna and always think of him and act for him. One should not become an official meditator. Life should be so molded that one will also always have the chance to think of Krishna. One should always act in such a way that all his daily activities are in connection with Krishna. He should arrange his life in such a way that throughout the 24 hours he cannot but think of Krishna. And the Lord's promise is that anyone who is in such pure Krishna consciousness will certainly return to the abode of Krishna, where he will be engaged in the association of Krishna face to face. This most confidential part of knowledge is spoken to Arjuna because he is a dear friend of Krishna. Everyone who follows the path of Arjuna can become a dear friend to Krishna and obtain the same perfection as Arjuna. These verses stress that one should concentrate his mind upon Krishna. The very form with two hands carrying a flute, the bluish boy with a beautiful face and peacock feathers in his hair. There are descriptions of Krishna found in the Brahma Samhita and other literatures. One should fix his mind on this original form of Godhead Krishna. He should not even divert his attention to other forms of Krishna. The Lord has multi-forms as Vishnu, Narayana, Rama and Varaha, etc. But devotee should concentrate his mind on the form that was present before Arjuna. Concentration of the mind in the form of Krishna constitutes the most confidential part of knowledge, and this is disclosed to Arjuna because Arjuna is most dear friend of Krishna's. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. This particular purport, how many times Krishna, 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 Krishna is mentioned by Prabhupada, right? Because Prabhupada is thinking, this is almost the, fag end of the Bhagavad Gita. If somebody has really not understood, then let them at least read this purport, Krishna, 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 right? And simply by uttering the name of Krishna, we will get purified, right? We will see the mercy of Krishna. When Arjuna is not asking a question, also Krishna is answering. Because Arjuna is already convinced. So this answer, this repetition is for us, is for you and me. And we also see in the purport, Prabhupada is taking advantage of this mercy of Lord Shri Krishna, and he is adding so much more unlimited mercy, right? Even if somebody misses that Krishna is answering without Arjuna asking a question, one cannot miss how many times Prabhupada is using the word Krishna. Every sentence, Life should be one molded that one should always think of Krishna. One should do performance daily activities in connection with Krishna. You should arrange his life in such a way he cannot but think of Krishna. So the Lord's promise is such that one will return back home, back to Krishna. He will engage in the association of Krishna. He'll become a dear friend of Krishna. He'll obtain the same perfection and become a dear friend of Krishna in one paragraph. So this is the mercy of our gurus. The gurus are more merciful than even Krishna. Krishna is in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gaur Dishve Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya. Krishna in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is most merciful. But even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could not tolerate Madai hitting Nityananda Prabhu. But Nityananda Prabhu said, no, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? You cannot kill in this avatar, right? What are you supposed to do? You are supposed to kill the demonic propensity and yet deliver. So Nityananda Prabhu is the supreme personality of servitor Godhead. He is the spiritual master, right? He is the representative of the Lord in the form of the spiritual master. So Srila Prabhupada, who is our eternal Siksha Guru, is so merciful, right? He is telling us, right? And you can also become a dear friend of Krishna just like Arjuna. So in this way, they are, although they are not controlling our free will, but Guru and Krishna, they want to influence our free will so much so that we take the right decision, right? Who else other than our real benefactors can do so much of mercy for us, right? What is that? Bhuktaram Yagnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. Krishna is our best friend. Srila Prabhupada is our best friend. So let us follow Krishna's instructions. Let us follow Prabhupada's instructions and Prabhupada's examples that so much relate to our day-to-day life. What choices we should make. Krishna said, next verse, Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Right? But Prabhupada has told us how to surrender to Krishna in our day-to-day life. How can we surrender to Krishna and make our human form of life perfect? So this is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And we need to take the right decision after studying the Bhagavad Gita, especially after reading the purports of Srila Prabhupada. Okay, text number 66. All right, Rajneesh Prabhu, please go ahead. Sarvadharman Parityaja. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarv Papebhyo Mokshishyami Ma Shuchaha. Synonyms: Sarvadharman, all varieties of religion. Parityajya, abandoning. Mam, unto me. Ekam, only. Saranam, for
Sharanam.
surrender. Saranam, for surrender. Vraj, go. Aham, I. Tvam, you. Sarv, all. Papebhyo, from sinful reactions. Mokshayasyami, will deliver. Ma, don't. Sucha, worry. Translation: abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Don't fear. Purport: the Lord has described various kinds of knowledge and processes of religion: the knowledge of the Supreme Brahman, knowledge of Super Soul, knowledge of different types of orders and statuses of social life, knowledge of the renounced order of life, knowledge of non-attachment, sense and mind control, meditation, etc. He has described in so many ways different types of religion. Now in summarizing Bhagavad Gita, Lord says that Arjun should give up all the processes that have been explained to him. He should simply surrender to Krishna. That surrender will save him from all kinds of sinful reactions, for the Lord personally promises to protect him. In the 7th chapter, it was said that only one who has become free from all the sinful reactions can take to the worship of Lord Krishna. Thus one may think that unless he is free from all sinful reactions, he cannot take to the surrendering process. To such doubts, it is here said that even if one is not free from all sinful reactions, Simply by the process of surrendering to Shri Krishna, he is automatically freed. There is no need of strenuous efforts to free oneself from these sinful reactions. One should unhesitatingly accept Krishna as the supreme savior of all living entities. With faith and love, one should surrender unto him. The process of surrender
Thank you,
to
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. We'll ask Deval Mataji to quickly go through next two paragraphs, and then Mansi Mataji can end our purport for today. Yes, go ahead. The process
Hare
of
Krishna.
surrender.
Yeah, Dhanvat Pranam. The process of surrender to Krishna is described in the Hari Bhakti Vilasa, 11th chapter, 676 shloka. Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam शिष्यतीति विश्वासो गोप्तृत्वे वर्णनं तथा आत्मनिक्षेपकार्पण्ये षड्विधा शरणागतिः. According to the devotional process, one should simply accept such religious principles that will lead ultimately to the devotional service of the Lord. One may perform a particular occupational duty according to his position in the social order, but if by executing his duty one does not come to the point of Krishna consciousness, all his activities are in vain. Anything that does not lead to the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness should be avoided. One should be confident that in all circumstances, Krishna will protect him from all difficulties. There is no need of thinking how one should keep the body and soul together. Krishna will see to that. One should always think himself helpless and should consider Krishna the only basis for his progress in life. As soon as one seriously engages himself in devotional service to the Lord in full Krishna consciousness, at once he becomes free from all contamination of material nature. There are different processes of religion and purificatory process by cultivation of knowledge, meditation in the mystic yoga system, etc. But one who surrenders unto Krishna does not have to execute so many methods. That simple surrender unto Krishna will save him from unnecessarily wasting time. One can thus make all progresses at once and be freed from all sinful reactions.
Thank
One
you,
should be
Mataji.
okay. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Mansi Mataji, please read the last paragraph and we'll end with that today. Yes.
Hare
Mansi-
Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Be
One
attracted. Mataji,
Mataji
one
is
should be attracted by the beautiful vision of Krishna. Okay, let me read this. One should be attracted by the beautiful vision of Krishna. His name is Krishna because he is all attractive. One who becomes attracted by the beautiful, all-powerful, omnipotent vision of Krishna is fortunate. There are different kinds of transcendentalists. Some of them are attached to the impersonal Brahman vision. Some of them are attracted by the super soul feature, etc. But one who is attracted to the personal feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and above all, one who is attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Krishna himself, is the most perfect transcendentalist. In other words, devotional service to Krishna in full consciousness is the most confidential part of knowledge. And this is the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Karma yogis, empiric philosophers, mystics, and devotees are all called transcendentalists. But one who is a pure devotee is the best of all. The particular words used here, ma shuchaha, don't fear, don't hesitate, don't worry, are very significant. One may be perplexed as to how one can give up all kinds of religious forms and simply surrender into Krishna. But such worry is useless. Hare Krishna. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, right? So out of all the realizations, Krishna is very, very firmly established that understanding Krishna in his form as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is the highest realization. And only a Bhakta can understand Bhagavan in his full realization. All right, so devotees can switch on your cameras. Tomorrow we'll be completing our Bhagavad Gita study. Please to join us at 11 o'clock. Tomorrow, as we complete the study of Bhagavad Gita, quickly we'll do Harinam Sankirtan. Devotees can switch on your cameras and then also give us your darshan. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Disatharine Jaya Sri Krishna Jai Tanya Prabhu Nityananda Priyadvaita Radha Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gaur Nitai Jai Jai Jagannath Jai Baladev Jai Subhadra Jai Sudarshan Jai Bala Gopal Jai Radha Giridhari Jai Radha Damodar Jai Radha Madhav Radha Ram Sundar Radha Govinda Radha Madan Mohan Jai Radha Gopinath Jai Radha Vrindavan Chandra Jai Radhe Radhe Jai Radhe Radhe Jai Radhe 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 Sri Radhe Jaya Jai Goswami Jaya Guru Parampara Jaya Prabhupada Jai Guru Devani Sai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki Jai Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki Jai जय 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 श्री राधे श्याम जय जय श्री वृंदावन धाम पावन राधे तेरो नाम पावन श्री वृंदावन धाम Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, dear devotees. With this, we will end our session today. We are having the nice, wonderful darshan of Geeta Mataji, probably for the first time. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sridhar Prabhu, Harjeet Mataji, Shubhangi Keshvi Mataji, Anuradha Leela Mataji, Anusha Mataji, Pranav Prabhuji, Karpagavalli Mataji, and all the devotees who've joined in. Thank you very much for joining in. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Gyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Thank you, devotees who are not able to switch on your cameras also. Thank you for joining in. Please do join us tomorrow, last day of Bhagavad Gita. So please do join us. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki Jai. So we're just running a little bit out of time. So tomorrow we'll take your questions. In case Rajneesh Prabhu and Geeta Mataji have some questions, we'll take them tomorrow. We'll start with your questions. Please do join at 11 o'clock. We'll start with your questions and then we'll continue with our chapter 18 of the Bhagavad Gita. Thank you very much for joining in. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Alternatively, you can send me your queries as message also. In case you're not able to join at 11 tomorrow, then you can send me a message tomorrow and I will answer you on your personal WhatsApp. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki Jai.